I just want to talk a bit about failing forward. The fact that even though I've started like 6 or 7 businesses that failed, each one of them taught me something, a skill, something that was absolutely necessary for the one business that's making me money. Butter Money Cash is back. Butter Coffee Man is back. In case you are new here, this is channel where I talk about emotions. I don't edit too much on this channel because it's just about having an emotional tracker. I use this channel as an emotional tracker to see what's going on in 10 years or 20 years. Look back at these videos and show people how I was thinking at 30, 31 actually. Today is 25 of February 2024. And the topic of discussion is the fact that I failed a lot. And I'm still a failure, and I constantly fail. But I don't see it as failure at all. My first ever business was doing management, project management. I didn't fail at that one. I was really good at it. I was a freelance project manager, and I made a lot of money doing that. And I moved back to my country. I went back from where I came from Romania, and to pursue art, to try to make it as an artist. Because before I was a PM, a project manager, I sold a few watercolors. I did, however, spend like 5 or 6 years in art school. So that's a lot of time. I didn't make any money back then. The only job I could take after art school was because I did metal sculpture. Jesus, what a worthless degree. I could get only a job making tubes for malls, like these ventilation tubes. So funny. Making ventilation tubes for 2 months. It was okay. Mainly, most of the things were easy because we had machines, but heavy stuff, bro. So I failed at the PM because my heart was not into it. And I said, I want to do painting. I started doing painting the whole time I was managing projects. I started to paint. I started to invest in canvases and paints and everything else. And I really believed that I could start a business by making YouTube videos. Funny enough. 10 years ago? I think 10 years ago. My first YouTube video was posted 10 years ago. It was a time lapse of one of my paintings. Awful paintings. And I was thinking I was talented. I was thinking I was good at painting. I wasn't. Really, I wasn't. I was just delusional. I could paint. I was not afraid. As always, I had this one thing that it's one of you're going to see it as a whole entire arc of a skill that just keeps on going, which is not being afraid to do things. Not being afraid to put myself out there, not being afraid to paint, to put paint on the canvases, not being afraid to make things, not being afraid to make many things to get better. And I am a firm believer in quantity. I think that everything in my life has become better the more I did it. And I actually told someone this when they started the business, exactly the business that I'm doing, that at first you might have an ideal creation in your mind, something that is absolutely ideal that you want to create. If you spend 3 months doing that, more. 6 months doing that, you will not be satisfied with it. It will not be there. But if you spend 6 months doing 4 every month of the same thing, but not at the level at which your standards are, you will, in 6 months, you will achieve your desired state, your desired creation state, and you will also surpass it. And it really happened. 6 months later, I actually put a timer and I asked her, could you believe the difference between what you had in mind and what you do now? And she was like, I couldn't believe it, because she didn't know what she didn't know. She had some ideas of how things should look, how things should feel, how things should be. And by the time she did 25 of them, she realized that, oh, I like this, because you really focus in on what you like, what are your strengths, what do you like to do, what you enjoy, because you have so much output and you lower your standards. You have the freedom to discover what you like. You have the freedom to uncover your creativity, to uncover your desires, to uncover your voice, let's say. Speaking of uncovering, I am going to start today or tomorrow. I'm going to start to learn how to tattoo. I wanted to do this for a long time. I wasn't too serious about it, but now I just sold the iPad, and the guy who bought the iPad, he's a tattoo artist. And I told him, look, I'm going to make videos for you and you teach me how to tattoo. And we bartered. He wanted to pay me at first. And I was like, I don't need money. I need time more than money. Because it's true. I like doing my own projects and working, and I truly believe in my projects. I truly believe in this channel, in all the channels that I create. I truly believe that they are valuable. I had a conversation with a friend last night. He was like, I told him I posted 120 videos in 40 days, long form videos. And he was like, yeah, but is there any value there? And I'm like, I've never, ever done videos that are better than this. So my standard has been surpassed, and truly, I've been doing better and better videos every day for 40 days, including these ones. It's, even though they are about emotions, I still give a lot of value in them. And I try to make them as entertaining as possible. That's why I change the camera all the time. And it made me feel a bit weird, because I was like questioning myself. For the first time in 40 days, I was questioning myself. I was like, is it? Is it any value? Because I could be making a lot more value by combining the things that I've learned from the other ways I've created content with this way of creating content. But I feel like it will become natural to do. Once I have more experience, it will just integrate from that way of making content to this way of making content. Let's talk a bit more about failure and how I failed more businesses than just a PM business, which I didn't actually fail. I quit, but it was because I had a mental breakdown and I couldn't do it anymore. So I quit. I raged quit. I'm not proud of that. Well, so yeah, taking care of 25 people is not really, even though I was project manager, I had to delegate things because you're always working with people. So I had to delegate to 25 people, which was a pain because those were not employees. They were freelancers just like me. And you had to, it's always tough because you have to really be very careful whenever you, well, now I know that even with employees, you have to be gentle and nice and really, because now I know the reasons why. Back then, I was just doing it as a policy because that was the policy of the businesses that I was working with. I was like, why can't I just ask this person, can you do this? Please, can you do this? And why do I have to say, hey, are you available for such a project? Or, phrases that are way too indirect for my taste. But now I understand why, because it puts the onus, the decision onto the freelancer's work, and you stand out as a employer, as a client, because you are like valuing their time, and then being telling them that they did a good job, thanking them every time, things like this. Really, even they can, funny enough, if the more the person earns, the more they appreciate these things as well. So and people who earn less as well. I'm not saying that people who earn less are not appreciative, but they have more motivation to earn more money, to be interested in more money than the people, because they have less. So then I started painting. I went back and I started painting. I started a YouTube channel. I quit the YouTube channel after, I think, 80 videos. And even though it got more traction than this one, it got way more traction than this one. It actually has 251 subscribers to this day. And it has a video that has 10,000 views. So yeah, I quit that. And but I've learned a lot doing exactly that type of channel, and being consistent and doing and promoting and whatever, just trying to make things. And batching, I've learned a lot about batching things. And also I've learned in that business, even though it failed, it never made any money, it never made anything, it actually embarrassed me. And yeah, I also learned that it's okay to do embarrassing things, because I later had a exhibition like 3 years later, and the curator actually was impressed by my YouTube channel and what I said in one YouTube channel. I think she saw all my YouTube channels, and I was like blushing. I was like, no, no. You gotta understand, I did not know anything about making content. And I was just trying to emulate other people that I was listening to motivational books. That's why I hate motivation. I was listening to motivational books, and I was just parroting those points, and but parroting them in a different way. Like, I was trying to have fun with it. I was trying to really get into a groove like a rapper, whatever. So cringe. But they are fun. I sometimes, when I'm drunk, I listen to them and I laugh at myself so hard. So yeah, I failed that, and then my painting actually started to pick up. I understood how to sell. I understood how I learned from a person, from one of my mentors. He would love if he saw this video and I called him a mentor. Oh my God, his ego would just. But he was a con man, a very, very big con man in the art business, painting, whatever. He was selling paintings signed by him but made by someone else. He was a pathological liar. He lied so much without anything to gain. but he also lied to gain as well. He was actually he was a tremendous businessman, but an awful person. um, he was lying. He was actually using people who he had nothing to gain from to practice his lies, because those people they wouldn't give a fuck about telling him, like, look, this is bullshit. So he was using those people to craft a story that would sell to other people. So he was trying every day, he was lying to 20, 30 people who didn't have anything to gain from that. And then he would go to people who actually can afford his art and tell the final version of the lie. Sometimes he would embellish the truth, as in an event that happened into his life. Sometimes he would just fabricate things. Anything. And he would used to tell me this. We have this huge actress in Romania, and he used to tell me, like, oh, she's actually friends of his. And she's like, one day she was thinking, oh, I wasn't on TV for 2 months. I have to do something. And she put a bit of ink on her face and took a few photos. And the next day she was at TV because she accidentally drank ink. And he used to tell me that story all the time, to explain how the media works and how to sell stories, how to really get people to invest and to really pay attention. And I was like, no way I'm doing that. I'm not going to do that at all. I don't like that kind of thing. I despise, even though I was a liar for a long, long time, I figured out that if you are lying, you create this false sense of pride inside of yourself, which is hurting you more than it actually helps you. I've learned a long time ago, if you sell your morals or your self-esteem away, you're gonna have to build it back at some point, and it's gonna be painful. It's gonna be with you for the rest of your life. I'm glad I learned this with a very small incident and not with huge things. Like, most people learn this lesson very, very harshly. So, yeah. And my painting business has started to pick up. I've learned how to sell from him, but not in that way. I've only taken the good parts. I've tried the bad parts, and they actually worked. Like, my washing machine broke. So I told that I didn't have to test the story. I just told it because I knew exactly what he didn't know what he was actually doing. But I noticed exactly what he was doing because he did it so many times. I understood exactly how he was manipulating people and what was working and not. And I could derive the rules of the game out of his stories. And I started talking. And I'm going to teach you this. I'm going to teach you this. If it happens to you, please don't do this to others. You can try it once with something insignificant to see if it works. But don't get addicted to it, please. So my washing machine broke. So I started talking to people, even though I had the money to buy 3 washing machines, because they were so cheap. They were like 100 euros used. I'm not buying a new washing machine. And because it's a vertical one, so I don't need a new one. Anyway, it's just a washing machine. So if it works at and it's usually they are, when you buy them, they are, I'm teasing the subject. Usually they are less than half the price on the internet than if you buy them brand new. And old models are usually better because they have less technology in them. So they have less touch buttons, less computers, less processors. They just have one button and a dial. Yeah. So I told the story, and instead of asking, I didn't ask anything. People already knew me, to people who already knew me, and to people who didn't know me. I told the story for a week. I said, I'm going to test this for a week. And I sold 3 paintings. 2 of them were sold to people who weren't going to buy paintings from me at all. They wouldn't have done it in a million years. So it works on, but the goal here is to just tell them the story, not complain, just tell them as a fact what happened and that you're looking at the used market or whatever. You just tell them a real fact about what happened, that it's a bit tragic, and you leave out the parts that are, you're still lying, but you live out the part that you have the money to buy one. You live out the part that you make them feel and interpret the story as if you are kind of avoiding asking them for money because you are ashamed to ask them for money. So you're like, so it's modern time begging. And that's why it turns my stomach around. But you can do something else, which is interesting. This is from a book. I've learned it in a book, and it works on the same principle. Let's say you like my hat. Compliment it. Ask me where it is from. Say you like it so much. And 2 things will happen. I'm going to tell you where it's from. I'm going to tell you what the price is. I'm going to tell you thank you. If you do this a few times, at some point, if it's not worth it to me, I'm just going to give it to you. If it's worth nothing to me, I'm just going to give it to you. I'm going to easily find a reason to give it to you for free or to sell it to you but probably going to give it to you. And this works. Like, I had someone complaining that they don't have dress shirts at work, and literally the next day, her coworkers got her 4 shirts that they didn't wear anymore, dress shirts. So they looked into the closet, and because the story was like, she told the story like 2 or 3 times during the day, and they were superb, absolutely beautiful dress shirts. And it really works. I mean, and then she started doing the same with a granny pack. I think it's called a granny pack. Fanny pack. Not a granny pack. A fanny pack. Yeah. She started complimenting her coworker's fanny pack for a few days, and then the coworker just gave it to her. So, yeah, really works. So, failed businesses, my painting business started to pick up, but it was very, very tiresome because I had to paint a lot. I was having... from my time as a PM, I learned that if you want to sell something, you have to look at the metrics. And the metrics were like this. Whenever I made 10 paintings, 1 of them would sell. So, and the other ones, like 2 of them, 3 of them from the 10 would sell later on. So, but 1 of them would sell instantly. And I would get better every 3 months, so much better that it really was a very interesting experience, an eye-opening experience. And the painting business was very, very, very inconsistent. Sometimes I would make a lot of money, sometimes I would make nothing. But I had this one rule: if I didn't sell anything in 2 months, I would just go get a job for 3 months and then go back to painting. And I did this for 2 or 3 years. And then I decided to, I was like, if I need to get a job, why should I get a job here? I should go back to the Netherlands and get a job there. And that's exactly what I did for 3 months, the same. And I came back with a lot of money and the dream to start another business that I was actually trying to start for 1 year and a half, which was the course business, making painting courses. And I came back. I actually, funny enough, I started filming and I filmed 12 courses that never saw the light of day because I did not know that how to make courses. They were good courses, but my level of explanation was not good enough to rise to the level of which I was painting. So I wasn't able to explain what I was doing because most of the things that I was doing, they were unconscious competence because I made like 2,000, 3,000 paintings. It was almost impossible for me to know what I was doing. I had to rewire my brain to really be able to explain that. Moment in the story where I get the biggest impasse. So I made 12, 12 courses. I only filmed them and I tried to make myself do a a voiceover like so many times in that period, and I was still filming and filming and getting so much footage. And then I had to edit some photos, so I pirated a software, and I lost everything. I lost all the courses. I was so pissed that day. I was red. No, so much work. That was like a month or more worth of work. And I lost it getting some ransomware because I was stupid. It was my own fault. But then in a week, I posted, like, it took me a month to make 12 courses. And I didn't know how to talk in order to really explain what I was doing. And then it took me 3 days to make my first course and post it. So I don't know. But it taught the YouTube channel, the first YouTube channel taught me how to edit, how to do voiceovers, how to really talk, how to present, how to film, taught me about camera gear, taught me about making things and grinding it out, success later, and how to calculate success and how to look at it. The PM business taught me processes, how to make a process, how to iterate on the process and really make yourself impossible to fail. Like even if you failed, you still did a good job and you learned something and you iterated, and next time you did that thing, you will have a skill set to make a better thing. So that's exactly what I did. It also taught me how to have employees. I had, I think, 6 employees until now. And the painting business taught me the power of just focusing and making copious amounts of paintings, and the fact that in 3 to 6 months, if you do so many things, you will look back and be like, I cannot believe the progress that I've made. It's impossible to really imagine the progress that you're going to make, and the expansion of the understanding that you will have about that subject and about that skill. There are things about painting that I know that are so crazy. Like I can really explain now that I made also the courses, but I can really explain and show you. And it when in explaining them, I understood my process better, and I even more improved the painting capabilities. So I became faster, better. I could bend, just paint. I'm a paint bender. And yeah, and then in the last one, it just combined everything. Management, because I got an employee like 2 months in. It taught me about how to calculate success so I could hire even before I was profitable, or even before I was actually affording to hire someone. Delegating from the PM business. Painting, of course, from the painting business. Talking on camera, well, in the microphone, from the YouTube business. And there were more businesses that I failed. Like there was a business where I tried to make stock footage, and also a business where I made print on demand things. And I failed at those, but I learned how to edit videos. I learned what kind of footage people want, what's useful. I've learned what's really useful as B-roll of something. And I think that's enough. And I think that's enough about the subject of failing forward. I have to go shoot some videos with the guy I sold the iPad to, and I'm going to see you later. So today was a very long day. However, holotropic meditation really helped with my energy levels. I'm doing one right before this video, and almost every video, but it's a very interesting experience. Today I went on a video photo shoot with a recent friend of mine, a client, to document and make some reels for his Instagram. He's a tattoo artist, and it was amazing. I cannot wait to be wireless. I also ordered a beautiful timer, a magnetic timer, to be able to put a timer instead of using my phone all the time. For the timer, I'm using this beautiful timer, and I can put it in frame so people would know, and I don't have to, because it really takes a long time to add a timer to the videos. So having a actual timer showing up, it's much more efficient. It kills the render time in half to do a timer digitally in the app, in the editing app in DaVinci Resolve. I feel amazing because of the meditations. I ate at 8:30, and once I did, I just crashed like so badly. But it was interesting to see that after the first meditation, I was almost falling asleep in the meditation. And then I did the holotropic, beautiful. I did one before the video, but then I did one during the meditation, and I got this rush of energy. I woke up just like if I had like 5 coffees. I was like super awake, super alert, and I am still like that because I've done in the past 3 hours like 5 holotropic meditations. So it's really helping me with the energy levels and pushing further and further without the need to do it, without feeling like I crashed and I cannot do anymore. And it's amazing. And today, in case I did not say the date, today is 25 of February 2024. Sophie's trying to eat the wire and she's not allowed. She's just a loaf of bread sitting on my floor. eating the food that I give her. She is literally half of my happiness. My voice has become deeper ever since I started holotropic meditation. I can even see, I think I can see further. My eyesight, I think it improved. I don't know if it's just a sensation or if it's just me imagining things, but it's amazing. I can see further, I can see textures further away, and I think I can read text further away. So I think my eyesight improved, and the focus, not only visually but also mentally, it's absolutely crazy how easy it gets to structure your thoughts and structure your mind in order to better explain your ideas. It's really a life-changing experience, this meditation challenge, this 30-day, 2 hours every day meditation challenge. And I was so creative with the angles and what I was doing, and I saw so many opportunities to film with this client, and it was amazing. It was really, really uh, life-changing experience. And I think that's enough for today. I need to edit some videos and upload this video as well. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow.